Sacramento is a really fun place to live. I made the move a long, long time ago and I never looked back. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about this. We're going to talk about the weather. We're going to talk about the food, the people, communities, and all that kind of fun stuff. We're also going to give you a snapshot of the current market. With the jobs report last week, interest rates probably not going to go anywhere for any time soon. A lot of people were expecting rate cuts, but the job reports was actually positive, which in turn leads rates to become somewhat flat, if not going up a little bit. So that's kind of what we're expecting. So we're going to go over a little bit of all that, how it impacts our market, how we're doing generally speaking. A lot of people that we work with are talking about like there's not as much inventory as they'd like to see on the market. Seller pricing is a little higher than they should be. And on the seller side, they're saying, well, you know what? Our house is on the market and we're just not seeing those open houses packed. Let's talk all about that. And let's give you a little bit of an idea on how the Sacramento real estate market is doing. Now, this show is actually pretty fun because we have a pretty much live audience that's going to be commenting, asking questions, giving feedback, which is great for you because you get actual people who live in the Sacramento area answering your questions. I mean, you really can't beat that. All right, let's get into the show. Let's go. All right, how you guys doing this evening? Okay, so glasses on. Okay, let's get going. First and foremost, for a lot of people who live in the Bay Area, school was out a couple weeks ago. For us, school just released for the most part. So what you're seeing is like, you know, now a little bit more, Sacramento is going to be a little bit more active too in the area. So that's kind of what you're going to notice. As far as the market goes in general, I'll just give you my, my opinion on what I'm feeling in the market. And then later on the show, we'll go into some statistics and all this stuff about May and how May did comparatively towards last year and May did against April as well too. They're pretty fun, interesting statistics to see as well for people who are thinking about moving in. And the statistics are going to be Sacramento County, Placer County, Yolo County, and El Dorado County as well too. We're going to also talk about like weather, Bay Area compared to Sacramento. How does that look during what months? Does it get super hot? And then we're also going to talk a little bit just about fun things to do in Sacramento and everything. Now, generally speaking, as far as the market goes, the jobs report came out last week. Now, for a lot of people, we just check rates. We just see how the rates are doing and whatnot. Now, the jobs report came out and it was actually positive. So I know a lot of people are like, positive, that's great. More people are going to jump into the market. Now, there's more at play than this, and we've gone into it many times on this channel, but when the job report comes out positive, it does not bode well for rates. So the idea is, what's your name, bro? Mark. What's your name? All right, hold on. Oh, man, this is like, my studio right now is just on the fritz. So, okay, I don't know, maybe it's the heat or something. Okay, so for the most part, we saw the jobs report come in, and the numbers were, they were good. As far as unemployment, rate, as far as jobs being given back, all that stuff. So, that as much as we kind of want to say, oh, that's a fantastic thing. It doesn't bode well for rates. In layman's terms, you can kind of look at it this way, because the job news was so good, basically the Fed's going, you know what, we don't really have to drop rates. In fact, we might want to raise them a little bit because it looks like the economy is doing so good. So that's kind of what we're noticing right now, which doesn't bode well for rates as it is right now. As far as our market goes, we saw a little bit of a pop in May, but in June, it slowed down a bit. I think people expected when Jerome Powell left his seat at the Fed that rates would somehow dip and it would just be a better market. And we just didn't see that. Rates are pretty much, what they were. And they've been hovering around 6.5. A lot of people were like, a lot of lenders, a lot of realtors were cruising around saying, oh, you know what? It's going to be like, we're going to see 3 rate cuts. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be great. Rates are going to go down. I wasn't one of them. I was very skeptical about it. And I also told you guys straight up, I think that this year is going to mimic a little bit of last year. I think it's just going to be the way it is. Now, what we've noticed now in the market is that it's an interesting one. We saw people looking to buy, but they're picky on what they want to buy, which I would be too. And we're seeing a lot of sellers who are seeing that there are houses being snapped up. But there are houses like in certain markets, like your Folsoms, your Grant Bays, your, certain markets that have always been historically really, really strong. Other markets that have been historically like up and down and historically like kind of almost like normal markets, those are the ones when you see houses on that are listed, they don't tend to fly really, really fast. So that's kind of what we're seeing right now. And the market's interesting. I mean, if you're looking for something, like if you're looking for a house, we've seen a lot of people, because of the rates being around 6.5-ish, we see a lot of people pivoting over to new homes. New homes have incentives still. Some of the communities in Rancho are doing really good incentives. West Roseville as well too, doing great incentives. Lincoln is doing great in incentives, but then there's some areas also that aren't. What's called Folsom, not so much. And Elk Grove is not really doing that many incentives as well too. So you have your communities, so it's kind of a mixed bag. Now here, this is where we get into some fun stuff. Hey, Sergio, hopefully all is well. Heard your inspections went well, my friend. I'm happy about that. All right, so this is where it comes into play. Mortgage rates jump after a strong jobs report, and that was last week. Now, prior to this happening, what we noticed was a couple weeks, even before this happened, almost between the time Jerome Powell left and this, the market was already slowing down a little bit. I was noticing, I was having conversations with realtors, lenders, and they were just saying, things are slowing down, right? And the slowdown that we are seeing right now is that slowdown that we normally see after July 4th in Sacramento. Normally July 4th, it's hot, people are celebrating, and after July 4th, the market starts to slow down a bit. So what I've noticed right now is I'm feeling that July 4th slowdown a bit happening right now. It's just a slow market. Now, as we all know, elections, all that kind of stuff too, it leads to people kind of being on the fence about buying, on the fence about, should I be doing this? I mean, we go to the gas station and all of a sudden, 6 is a new 5, right? Gas prices are out of control. Go to Costco to pick up some groceries. It's not great. And so, with the jobs report coming up last week, I think it kind of shocked a lot of people. And, right now it's more likely that rates are going to go up as opposed to down. I'm just hoping that they kind of flatline. Now, what we saw right now too is pretty much this. So you see them kind of ticking up, kind of going up there. Like I said, around 6.5, a little higher at this point. They dipped a little bit today, but not that much. But we're seeing them gradually kind of increase a bit. So I think what we're going to notice probably for the next couple of weeks, maybe month, is that it is still going to be hovering around the 6.5, 6.75. And this is based on, of course, is based on your credit, based on all that stuff too. But this is a general idea of where the interest rates are going. So it's not really about the rate specifically. It's more just about what direction rates are going. Now, rates going up, rates staying over 6.5 doesn't bode well to this market picking up in summertime. Now, I talked to a couple of realtors and they're still kind of, a little delusional. They're like, oh, but this is the time. This is the hottest time of the market. Everyone's coming from the Bay. Everyone's doing this. Here's the thing. In our market specifically, because we are a feeder market to the Bay Area, the time that's really hot for us is April, March, April, May, maybe a little bit of June here and there. But what we notice is that people kind of want to come out here and figure out where the schools are. Now, a lot of people are thinking, oh, they're going to spend summer to figure out schools. No, schools are already out. So people want to figure out the school stuff probably in May. They want to get situated and they want to get all the kids registered and everything too. It takes time to do that. So April tends to be pretty popular in Sacramento. End of March, sometimes depending on the year, depending on the interest rates, depending on, all that stuff. But April, May, a little bit of June. And now what we're noticing is that slowdown that I'm telling you that we normally experience in July, we're experiencing right now. I think for the most part, a lot of buyers are, not seeing a bunch of that inventory that they wanted to see on the market. I'm having conversations with a lot of buyers who are settling. They're like, we got to make the move, so we're kind of settling. And then I'm having conversations with other buyers who are like, yeah, we're not going to settle. We're waiting for what we want. And if we're not going to see it, we could rent or we might postpone moving to Sacramento. So that's the atmosphere that right now is in Sacramento. Now, I think, things are moving. I'm not saying they're not. But I don't think you're seeing that amazing inventory that we thought we would see. January and February of this year, all of a sudden inventory numbers were going up. Everyone was excited. Oh, there's a lot more inventory. March came out, and then all of a sudden that pop that I mentioned, like April, May-ish, we had a pop. It was active. It was going. And a lot of people, when they started looking for houses, they ate up a lot of the inventory. And now in June, you're not going to see too many people say, oh, I'm waiting till June to list my house. A lot of people that I
I know a lot of listing agents who list a lot of homes. The times that they're going to be focused on waiting and listing their homes to the optimal performance is going to be that April, May. That time is the best time to list a home in the Sacramento area. So now you're like, mid-Junes, late Junes, July, you're going to get you're hoping that there's a last minute pop, maybe interest rates dip a little bit. You're hoping for that buyers, but for the most part, we're entering a very, very slow time. If you talk to your average realtor out there hustling, and I'm talking to a lot of them, they're basically telling me the same thing. It is slow right now, right? Whereas like 4 weeks ago, it wasn't. There was a pop. And for me, I really didn't understand the pop because interest rates weren't down or anything. It was just that idea that Jerome Powell leaving office could mean good things for our market. But as we saw, rates a little down, but it wasn't anything to celebrate about. All right, Derek, how are you doing today? All right, we got Derek here, we got Jason, we got Pamela. Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic evening. And I don't know what it is about my setup right now, but your comments will slowly start to trickle in. It's been kind of like this weird tech challenge live that I'm doing tonight. Okay, so let's get into some fun topics. Now, that's kind of what the market looks like in Sacramento for the good and bad. And again, I have some statistics that I'm going to bring into the show in a second as well, too. There are going to be statistics comparing May to April. There are going to be some statistics comparing May to last year. And they're good. You guys are going to like exactly where that goes. $7 gas coming soon. Yeah, I'm seeing that as well, too. It's crazy. And guys, I'm a realtor, so it doesn't really bode well for me. Pamela, good evening. Good evening to you as well, too. Okay, so let's go. So let's talk a little bit about the weather here in Sacramento, and I wanted to give you guys a little idea of what it is. Now, for me, if it was me and I was thinking about coming into Sacramento, there are certain things that Sacramento, you just gotta understand that you need to experience it to figure out exactly like if this place is for you, right? If you come in during wintertime and you're assuming that summer isn't going to be like hot, or you're like, it's not going to be that bad. It's not going to be that bad. It might not be, depending where you come from. I mean, maybe you come from like Arizona, maybe you come from Vegas or, from Nevada. I mean, yeah, you'll be okay here. But if you're coming in from the Bay Area, understand, like if you look at it right here, look at this breakdown you're seeing right here. January, yeah, we're on par. February, we're on par. March, getting still a little warmer. April, it's already close to 10 degrees hotter. May, all of a sudden in the Bay Area, we're looking at like 64 and we're at 80, so we're over 15. And then as you can tell, look at that. That is Sac by 16 degrees, Sac by 21 degrees, Sac by 25 degrees, Sac by 22 degrees. So for all you guys out there who are thinking about maybe coming to the Sacramento area, maybe you're not looking right now and maybe you're just thinking to yourself, I wonder if this spot's for me. But even if it's even an idea that in the future you're going to make the move to Sacramento, you guys should be coming here in your July, your Junes. Right now, we're on a hot spurt. Like it's going to be at least a week. I think this weekend is going to be over 100. But you should definitely kind of take a look at Sacramento at its hottest, right? I've had one person, a good guy, Glenn, who made a move up here, and we were talking about the heat. He was thinking it wasn't going to be as bad as it was going to be. It was, and so he actually pivoted to another spot. But heat is a big one here in the Sacramento area. So especially if you're coming in from the Bay, if you're coming in from Portland, if you're coming in from like Seattle, if you're coming from that kind of weather, it's probably a good thing that you come out here in Sacramento to kind of vibe out the summer and see how that feels. Now, a lot of people also know Sacramento and they're kind of staying away and saying to themselves, you know what? Sacramento's hot all the time. It's like the sun. I'm not living there. There's just no way I'm doing it. And I get it. I mean, of course, you're kind of freaked out about that. But if you look at it right here, we definitely do have our seasons as well, too. As much as we dip and go really high, or we go high in the summer as well, if you see like October, November, December, January, and February, we've got the rainy season. We've got, spring, summer. Summer is big, but we got like spring, we got fall, we got winter seasons too. So yes, it does get hot during the summertime, but I'm telling you guys, we have great seasonality here in Sacramento. You're going to see a lot of green. You're going to see a lot of rain coming in sometimes during, as well as the winter season. It's really, really nice. Where I live in Gold River, green all the time, trees, leaves, and everything too. Really, really nice. Winter jackets, all that fun stuff too. But during the summertime, and I'm telling you, it starts to kick in like around like April. You get these like weird spurts of like a week where it's warm and you're like, oof, kind of reminds you about Sacramento's heat. and then it goes. So just so you know, this is kind of what the weather kind of looks like, and just something you got to kind of keep in mind. All right. Close today in Elk Grove with a 15K seller credit. My rate sucks, but glad to be done. Hopefully rates go down this winter, and I'll need a new HVAC this summer. Yeah, HVAC's what? I mean, what kind of square footage are we talking about? Maybe like, maybe 2,000 square feet. It probably cost you about 12 grand. There's also a really good system. It's a little pricier, but it's a Bosch system that my HVAC guy said the Bosch system is quiet and it's really effective in the house as well too. I have a great HVAC guy if you need one too. He comes literally within a few hours. He's awesome. All right, Wendy, how you doing? I will be videoing that house for you, and you have video proof that I said I would. All it takes is one house, and that's true. You know, in this market that we're in right now, it just takes one. And for sellers, you know, right now, I'm telling you, a lot of sellers are getting just so nervous, and I get that. You know, sellers right now, they're seeing some houses fly, and they're seeing other houses sit, and they're just not sure exactly like how that looks for them. And that's the biggest thing about this market is until you put a house on the market, you know, you don't really know how it's going to do. I mean, we've listed homes that were just, you know, amazing houses at good prices, and they've sat a little bit, and we've listed houses that we didn't think would fly off the shelves, and they did. So it really is kind of a crapshoot. I think some of the markets that historically have been really, really good here in the Sacramento area, your Folsoms, your Rosevilles, like your East Roseville-ish area, those are always in high demand. Grant Bay, the luxury market is still pretty good there. Loomis is still pretty good there. Certain parts of El Dorado Hills are still pretty solid. East Sacramento. I mean, there are some areas that have been historically really, really good. And I think that's something to look at. If you're someone who's looking to sell your home, don't just say, hey, you know what, Bob's house over in Folsom flew, so my house over here in Citrus is going to fly as well too. Historically, look at your neighborhood. You know, look at how fast things move. Look at the various floor plans that are listed. How fast do those move? Check out open houses. Check out price per square foot and kind of analyze your area. Don't just assume that if you throw something out there, it's going to go. A lot of times also what we're seeing, because inventory is still a little bit light, you're seeing people that are like in a pinch to kind of buy a home, and they're putting in low offers, but I've also seen people come back with higher offers. So for sellers, just understand that this is the market that if you price aggressively, you could out of the gate get a couple offers and you're good to go. But if you're someone who's sitting there for a week and another week, you might have to do some creative marketing. You might have to do something to kind of get that thing going again, maybe switch around the photos or something. It's just one of those markets that I think for sellers, it's gonna be really, really frustrating. So that's just what I'm seeing right now. But you know, it will be definitely interesting. All right, Matt, how you doing? We have less than 2 months of good market left in the region. We always slow down after July. August and beyond are going to be interesting to watch. You know, here's the thing, Matt, I'll tell you straight up. I'm feeling that July slowdown right now. I think it was almost like everyone kind of like hit the turbo button in like May. And it feels like right now at this moment, it's just sluggish. I think our good inventory that I was telling you guys popped March, April. A lot of people jumped on that inventory, and I think people thought the inventory would keep rolling in. I'm not seeing the homes that we thought we would be getting at this time of the year. And so, you know, I'm not really optimistic that we're going to see a whole bunch of inventory hit the market. I think we'll hit like ones or twos here and there. But I think a lot of listing agents, a lot of people were listing their like, you know, primo good real estate, April and May, and I think a lot of people jumped on it. And right now there is a lull, and I think it comes from both sides. I think one, it comes from people who the lull is coming from, number one, people who are looking and they really want something. They really want to buy something, but they're just not seeing what they want to buy. They're just seeing this stuff. It looks a little stale. It doesn't look what they want to see. The price might be too high. And at this point, they're thinking to themselves, should I rent or should I wait? And I think you got some sellers who are saying, you know what, like a month ago, things were flying. I'm going to list my house high, and, you know, that's what it's going to be at. And let's see what we got. And I think aggressive pricing still wins the day. And I just wish we would see a lot of sellers to realize it. I mean, aggressive pricing and the market is going to dictate it. The idea of aggressive pricing isn't to actually sell the home for that aggressive price. It's to have such a good price point on a home that you're betting on the fact that you can get more than one, or you can get a whole bunch of people into the house. And if you take care of the house, if you stage the house right and the house looks amazing, you're going to get people that are saying to themselves, you know what? It's listed for 5. They told me they already got a couple offers that are over ask. This seems like kind of like a rare house. I really, really love it. I fell in love with the backyard. I love the street. It's awesome. Let's go for it. And so aggressive pricing is that. It's meant to get multiple offers. And if you do it right, you can do that. And again, for sellers who are thinking, oh man, I don't want to price that low, the market's going to dictate what a house for the most part is going to go for. And if you're saying to yourself, you know what, if we go too low, we're going to get that one person's going to make that one offer low. I mean, it could happen, but at the same time, the market is somewhat speaking to you. It doesn't mean you have to take that offer, but understand that it's out there, it's listed, it's at an aggressive price. And if all you're getting after maybe a week or two is that price point, the market is speaking to you. It's basic supply and demand. So just, make sure you're listening. I guess that's what I'm saying. All right. If I was selling today, my system that I use on this thing just is not working for me today. If I was selling today, it is far more advantageous to underprice the market a little bit. Those who are still getting a lot of interest, you don't want to be overpriced, house sitting on the market for months. I agree. That's the worst thing to do for a house. If you put a house on the market and it just sits, right? Then all of a sudden you reduce the price a little bit. All of a sudden, when you start reducing, you see, like the house is on the ropes, it's reducing. And if you see a house that's reduced, you're still not going to go in at that reduced price. At least for me, I mean, I would go at least 5 or 10 below what they reduced at, or maybe even more if the listing agent seemed a little desperate. The worst is to reduce. I'd rather go on the market at aggressive pricing and, try for that multiple offer thing and just see if we can go higher, as opposed to be sitting on the market for 2 weeks, be done with the marketing, be done with the open houses. Everything that is in my arsenal is completely out. And then I'm sitting to myself, okay, the only thing we have left is to reduce. And when you reduce, you definitely show you show your cards to the market, and it's not a good position to be in for any seller at all. All right, so let's go into some of these things and let's talk a little bit about some of the suburbs that I listed here. Now, these are Sacramento's fastest growing suburbs. It'll pop up in a second. I have no idea why this is lagging tonight, but it is. So I'll read them off until this thing pops up. Come on, let's go. Okay. Folsom Ranch, you got number 1. In Folsom Ranch, 2020 population was close to 18,000, and it's grown by 18, 19, by 7,000 people. That's just Folsom Ranch since 2020. That's crazy. Elk Grove is number 2. What do we got? Elk Grove, 175, and now it's 191, so it increased. Man, Elk Grove is just growing. Here, let me see if I can get this thing going. Come on. Hold on for 1 sec. Bear with me. No guest. There we go. All right, cool. All right, so here we go. And this is population growth from 2020 to 2023. And I know this is 2026, but for these population statistics, it just takes a while to kind of calculate it. So just understand that Folsom Ranch has more than, what they're stating here. Elk Grove does as well too. But if you look at the population increases to some of these areas, like your Lincolns, your Rancho even too, I mean, all these spots are just growing. There's more people moving in. But as it stands right now, these are some of the fastest growing suburbs in the whole entire Sacramento area. I mean, Folsom Ranch has not slowed down. Elk Grove, in fact, has picked up. I'm kind of curious maybe if, Elk Grove is catching up to the Folsom Ranch area. Rockland, we got what? We got all that area that they're building out in Whitney Ranch. We got also the Toll Brothers community. We got Anthem. We got tons of stuff happening in the Rockland area. Then Lincoln, which includes for the time being, we got Bickford Ranch as well too. We got Lincoln, Liberty, which is just crazy. And then as we all know in Rancho, we got maybe 12 builders building homes out there. West Sacramento, again, one of the spots I really love and I think is super up and coming. And then Natomas. Natomas is building. Meritage is out there. Lennar, Northlake is out there. You got the New Home Company who created a big, you got like 5 communities by New Home Company as well out there. Then you got Roseville, which is West Roseville. That's helping the increase. And you got all those builders. You got like Winding Creek. You got Fittymint. You got West Park. You got all those spots too that are just popping. Auburn's interesting. I don't know too much. I don't do too much business in Auburn, and I don't know where this population pop is happening or winters either. But I'll tell you something, guys, the Sacramento area is just growing and growing and growing. So those are the fastest growing suburbs. And honestly, I think Elk Grove's numbers are, probably went crazy since 2023 to 2026. All right, next, Sacramento's market update. Let's get into a little bit of the market. Now, as we saw, and this is 2026 May against 2025, pending sales were up. Closed sales we're up. Median sold price, it's up. Average sold price, it's up. So all good. Active listings, this is where we're going to get crushed. And this is why I'm predicting June and July just are not going to be good. And I think we're going to start getting slow because I don't think people are seeing the inventory they want to see. So as far as comparing 2026 to 2025 May, our active listings are sliding down again. I mean, what was it? January, February this year, we were kind of going. And now we saw a big pop and now we're back to this. Active listings are just down. There's not a lot of people throwing out inventory right now too. Months of inventory is down as well too. What you're seeing is the curse of the 2.75s. We're seeing so many people, and this is nationwide, but so many people who jumped into homes at 2.75 that they're just not selling. They don't want to sell. They'd rather like take out money and build an extra room, build a pool, build this, build that. So you're seeing a lot of people who are just like, I got a great rate. I got a 2.75, maybe even a VA. So you even got maybe a 2.25 like my buddy Aaron does. And they're just going to be staying in their homes. And this is going to be something that we're going to be battling with for a long time. Not as much as we were maybe a couple of years ago, but we're still in that situation where I run into a lot of people who made that move to their forever home or they refinance and they're like, it just doesn't make financial sense for me to sell my house and to jump into a 6.75 interest rate when I got a 2.75. So, and I get it. It makes a lot of sense. And, I get it. I mean, even my rate's around a 4%. I'm still not even though I'm a realtor and I go out and see these amazing houses and I'm like drooling half the time, it always triggers back to my rate and it always goes back to my rate. And I start thinking of my house and I say, I got a pretty good house. I'm good with it. Right. Is it the perfect house? No. But do I look at it and I say to myself, is the juice worth the squeeze as far as getting something that might be more, I might like better and jump into a 6.5? Absolutely not. So those are the struggles we're seeing on our market. Now, as far as March versus April, this is where it gets interesting as well too. Active listings, we were up. Pending sales, up. Average sold price, again, up. Look at that. Yeah. Man, it's crazy. Average sold price, yeah, we're up again. In months of inventory, we were going up as well. And then then we had that pop and then everything went crazy. Although I will tell you one thing, look at this, closed sales were down. So pending was up, closed sales were down. Another thing too, to keep in mind too in this market, and I said this a couple times on these shows, is that if you are looking to buy a house and you see it go into contract, this year for some insane reason, I've seen more things fall out than I've seen in the last maybe like 3 or 4 years. So if you like a house and you're saying to yourself, oh man, it went into contract, I'm so upset about that. It's not over till it's over. And we're seeing a lot of things fall out of contract more than not. And so just, if you see a house, it goes into contract, just keep a little tabs on it and, you never know what might happen to it. All right, buyers versus sellers, median price is up. All right. Home selling for 100% of list price. We're seeing a lot of those as well too for sellers. Average sold price, it's an increase year over year. Inventory is still low, which means demand for the houses being thrown on the market is still pretty high. Now, again, when I say demand for the houses being thrown on the market is still high, it is still very relative towards area, community, floor plan. Also, people are loving turnkey. People do not want to do fixers as well too. Now, as far as buyers go, in May, it was a good month for buyers. And I told you guys, in May, we had a very nice pop. Inventory was up from April. So buyers definitely benefited on the May inventory that hit the market. 30 average days on the market, which was a little, it was good. I've seen it a lot lower, but that's still decent. And there were more choices than earlier because inventory was better. Now we're in June and it just does not feel that way at all. Okay, 5 things you need to know. Pending sales are up. Average home was sold for $707K. Inventory is still only 2.3 months on the market. Home sales, 100% of asking price for those that are actually going. And average days on market is 30. Now, all these are basically pulled from the MLS. So I did these kind of graphics for you guys to kind of understand what the market is looking like. Now, this is May. Remember, June, as far as I'm concerned, towards the end of May, I felt a little bit of a slowdown. And in June, right now, as we speak, even though May at the very beginning and maybe 3/4 of May was still a pretty solid month for real estate, I would say the last week of May, not great. And I would say right now in June, it's definitely slowed down and we're not in May anymore. And we're very much feeling the slowdown. All right. Big number, medium sale price. From May to May. That's not too shabby. So for all you guys who are seeing those estimates, and I know you guys always peek at those estimates, understand that your number probably has increased more than not. So that's a good thing. And this is Yolo, Sacramento, Placer, and El Dorado County. I still love our area, right? And we'll go into some of these questions in a second, but let's see if I can go over here easier. Okay, good. All right, now let's talk a little bit about Sacramento in general. And I kind of wanted to talk to you guys just a little bit about why I made the move to Sacramento and things about Sacramento that I find really appealing. First, I like the Sacramento area because I think it's growing like crazy. I think the fact that we're putting all these new homes in, like to West Roseville, West Sacramento, Lincoln, Elk Grove, Folsom, of course we have to be a little careful as far as building and ruining the landscape in the Sacramento area. But all these homes and a lot of these homes, all these homes are like being put in with Mello-Roos. Now, no one likes Mello-Roos. It's a taxable bond. And if you buy a new home, you're probably going to have to pay Mello-Roos. But this Mello-Roos is going to brand new parks, what's called sidewalks, fire departments, police departments, schools, and everything too. So what you're seeing is a lot of these areas like your West Roseville, where they're going to be putting in a brand new surf park, you're going to see brand new commercial centers being put in as well. West Roseville, you got Rancho, you got Lincoln, Liberty at Lincoln is another community that's like almost Whitney Ranch on the ground. Really, really nice. So our entire area is completely transforming. It's one of those few areas in California that I'm seeing completely a different landscape in Sacramento than it was maybe 3 years ago. And in 5 years from now, it's going to be completely different as well, too. I mean, Folsom there's going to be a division on the 50, new Folsom, and then there's going to be older Folsom. And that's just kind of how it's going to be from now on in the Sacramento area. Our area is just growing. I mean, the thing that I think a lot of people in Sacramento don't really understand is the idea that we have new restaurants that are opening, almost on a daily basis. We have new kind of like plans that are happening in the Sacramento area, like the Sunrise Mall, that whole development that's being happening right now. We're talking about the Rail Yards project. We're talking about like X Games. We're talking about possibly getting a baseball team here as well too. I mean, there's certain things in Sacramento where you kind of feel the buzz. So for all you people who are thinking about moving to Sacramento, I know a lot of you are thinking, you know what, we want to try Sacramento because of affordability. We don't know too much about Sacramento. We work with a lot of people that when they get here, it's basically based on affordability. They're saying, I have a house in San Jose. I'm selling it for like 1.5 million. And we want to see if we can move into Sacramento and maybe buy that house we always dreamed of. Yes, you can, first of all. But the other thing people don't realize is in Sacramento, that you have the restaurants, you have nature all around you, hiking, biking, mountain biking, rafting. I mean, whatever you want to do, you have around you. You have Tahoe super close by. You have Amador, you got Napa about an hour and a half away. You got the Bay Area if you want to go to the Bay Area. But what you're going to notice is because traffic here isn't like the Bay Area, what you're going to end up feeling is that anytime you go to the Bay Area, you have that nervousness of like, I just don't want to be here. For me, that's how I get. I go to Walnut Creek sometimes to see my mother and see my brother. And when I get into the Bay Area, the traffic, the energy is such a stress ball. I'm not a big fan of that. Now, what you're going to get when you come out to Sacramento is a slowdown. Right now, you're going to, especially if you're in the Bay Area, because that was my life. I felt like I was always in fifth gear. I was always stressing. I was always kind of freaking out. Everything was just like, even going to the store, right? For parking, you had to get in your car, open the garage, go through streets, and it was trafficy. You had to go, Trader Joe parking spaces were tiny. Here, you don't have that. You really do feel like you've almost gone from fifth gear to second gear. Everything is relatively chill here. It's relaxed, right? What you're going to notice about Sacramento in general is that 95% of Sacramento is suburban. That's what you're getting. You're getting, an environment where people are more focused on like movie nights in the park or going to swim practice or soccer games or going to like some sporting events with the family. Sacramento is very, very family friendly. And that's something I really, that appealed to me. That's what I wanted. I wanted the nights where I'm watching Netflix, I'm maybe barbecuing or cooking. We have the family over. In fact, right now, as I'm on the show, I have half my wife's family in the other room and they ordered Mountain Mike's Pizza. And we're going to watch some movies later on this evening because school just let out and my daughter wants to do that. That's what Sacramento is kind of all about. So if that's you and you're saying to yourself, I do want to move somewhere affordable so that I can always have that dream house that I always dreamt of. I have a smaller house in the Bay Area. I made great money on it, but now it's time for me. I really want to have that house I've always dreamt of. You can have it, but the Sacramento area you're going to love. I mean, for me, my day consists sometimes in the morning of going for like a nice drive on my beach cruiser. There's some mountain trails that I can go walking, hiking. And if you have kids that are of any age here, you're going to find activities for them. And that's the thing that I always missed. I mean, for me, I grew up in Marin County and I had that. I had the idea of driving riding my PK Ripper with my friends and going around the trails, cardboard sliding, doing fun things like this. And I had that environment where all my friends knew their families. We all got together. We all did that. But then what ended up happening in the Bay Area is my high school was filled now with Tesla chargers and no one really knows each other. And I didn't really know where that spot would be that I would find that community, the area that I'd feel comfortable raising my family. And Sacramento really was that for me. I got in here. I know pretty much all of Gold River at this point. I know so many people, and everyone, even on my real estate team, is family centric. I mean, you got Michelle, who's going to softball games with her daughter. You got Nikki, whose 3 daughters are going to college and she's going to go visit them. You got Lana on the team, who just had 2 kids. I mean, this is a very family-centric kind of area. So that's you, and you want to kind of like downshift, and you want a little slower pace of life. You want the affordability factor because it definitely is more affordable here. You'll go to Costco, you'll fill up, it'll last you for the week. You'll do those barbecues if you want to do it, maybe vegan barbecue, whatever you want, and you're good. Now, for a lot of people who maybe enjoy that kind of I live that life in North Beach and all that stuff too. We still have amazing spots to go down. You can go downtown if you feel like it. You can go to Roseville. You can go to Folsom. We have all these spots that you can go to. If you want to go a little more bougie, you can go up to El Dorado in the town center. There's all these spots you can kind of explore. The other thing too for Sacramento that makes it really nice is growing up, I always kind of was saying to myself, I'd love to learn how to paddleboard. I'd love maybe the opportunity to buy a boat or get a friend that owns a boat. I love the idea of maybe, learning how to snowboard a little bit or, go snowboarding again and everything too. Now, the thing about Sacramento, because you have that slower pace of life, because it's not as much of a hassle to do these things, you really, really are able to do it. I mean, you can really just get one of those blow-up paddle boards from Costco, throw it on your car, and there's so many kind of areas where you can just throw it in the water and go in the water if you feel like. If you're a fisherman, there's tons of places to go fishing as well too. If you're someone who likes photography, someone who likes art, my daughter was like, hey, I found a great pottery class that I want you to take with me this summer. Those are things that you're going to find in Sacramento. And for me, I enjoyed it. You know, my first summer here is really, really warm. And we were going movie nights in the park at Fair Oaks when there were chickens kind of cruising around. And it was just a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I said to myself, that's kind of where I want to be. So that's kind of what I love about Sacramento. It's community. It's the idea that it's a slower pace. Parking is, you know, it's not a hassle. And the growth. I mean, if you look at some of these schools they're putting in Folsom, in Rockland, in Lincoln, I mean, chance of, I mean, the idea of Sacramento changing is just 100% undeniable. Like, we're going in that direction of changing. We're going in there of being like a powerhouse area of California for sure. Just with all the people moving in, all the stuff coming to Sacramento, all the different like hospitals coming in here, what Dignity, Kaiser, what's called Mercy. What do we got? We got Shriners. We got all these hospitals coming here, and our medical is crazy. So for me, like I said, I think Sacramento is a great place. I think if you're someone who wants a reset, a fresh start, it's a great place to be as well too. There's a ton of people doing a ton of fun things. Entrepreneurship is alive and well here. If you want to be a realtor, you can definitely do that as well too. Hop on YouTube. Sacramento is a great spot to live. Now, if you guys have any other questions about Sacramento, reach out to me. I talked to a really nice guy about Gold River. We talked about maybe 15, 20 minutes about Gold River, the pros and cons as well too. Kind of do that all day. So now let's go into some Q&A, and then I will let you guys go for the evening. Come on, let's go. All right. Top Sacramento suburbs in 2026. This is very this is the time of the show, guys, and I apologize. I get a little tongue-tied because it's like, it feels like it's about 110 degrees in my studio. This is very informative as we make our decision to choose the right neighborhood moving from Florida. Thank you. No problem. Hopefully you guys get these videos and understand that this is for you guys, right? This is for you guys to get a little bit of an idea of what Sacramento is all about. And there's people here like video guy Matt who lives here, like Wendy that lives here, you know, Pamela that's dabbling, maybe coming here. You got Derek who's from like the West Roseville area. You got all these people also on the show that chime in and give their opinions on things happening in Sacramento. And that's one of the things that I love about this show. You're not going to find any YouTube video, anything that is as real as this show. And, you know, if this is the first time you're watching it, and you watch it, maybe you watch some of these videos, bring some of your questions next week. Be more than happy to answer them. All right. Are rates too high to buy a house? I agree. Prices plus rates, bad time to buy a house. Yeah. And that's kind of one of those things right now. I think that all in all, I do feel that that's what a lot of buyers are feeling right now. And I think compounded with the idea that they're not seeing exactly what they want on the market, it's making it a little bit of a depressing market. Now, I have clients who do see that one house, but you guys all have the biggest problem in the world, which you got good taste. You find that one house that everybody wants, which makes it just a little bit harder to get it for you. All right. Derek, what do you think about those ads that say, we'll buy your home in cash, no matter what condition? Yeah, usually those are upsells. I mean, I'm not going to give you 100%. Like I've never gone through that process, but what I've heard and what, you know, from people that have gone through that is it's usually that they say that to you directly. They come see your house. They'll give you a low offer on your house, or they'll give you a nice offer on your house. But then after you do inspections, after they run their inspections and everything too, then all of a sudden what you notice is the offer tends to be a lot lower. But at the same time, you know how I am. I'm pretty transparent on this like show. I'm transparent as it gets. I would say if that piques your interest, I would say, you know, give it a shot. If you guys are selling your asset, the main thing for you guys is to get as much as you can humanly possible. And if that works, I mean, it could. I just think that if something is too good to be true, it sometimes is. Do you remember all that stuff that happened with Open Door? There's a reason why Open Door just kind of failed, right? So for me, I just have not heard too much good about this. But again, remember this also, I work in the real estate industry. So there's not going to be a whole lot of realtors that are going to show this love, right? I would just vet it. Talk to other people who've gone down the road with this stuff. And if it's something that makes sense for you, maybe it works. For me though, I don't know that much about it. So I can't really give you that 100% like accurate, you know, if it works or if it doesn't work. All right. Is Sacramento too hot? Only two downsides to Sacramento: expensive and hot. And that's a funny thing. If you guys think Sacramento is expensive now, check back in like five years. I mean, no one is going to be calling Sacramento affordable. Now, I think there's some areas that are still affordable, but I think that, 5 years from now, I mean, there's just going to be, affordability is going to be nowhere near Sacramento when people ask about it. All right. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, also, hopefully not next week, but the week after, I'm going to bring on a couple realtors from Yuba County, and we're going to talk a little bit about Yuba as well too. I was talking to her this morning, really nice lady, and everything we were talking about was pretty much the same concept. A lot of people in Sacramento feel like they can't buy anything in Sacramento. And Plumas Lake, Linda, there are so many options in Yuba County for people who are looking to buy, and they're not that far away from Sacramento as well too. And for me, if Sacramento, Sacramento's exploding like crazy right now too. If you can buy in Yuba, you're going to be super close to something. It's like, what do they say? If Sacramento gets a cold, Yuba is probably going to sneeze. So there is going to be a little bit of an effect on Yuba as well, prices as well too. Yuba's affordable now, but I don't know how long that's going to last, especially if Sacramento does what I think it's going to do. All right, moving to Sacramento or Charlotte. Sacramento or Charlotte, I love both. I live in Sac. I've been to Charlotte hella times. I love Raleigh more, but there's nothing like Sacktown, baby. Go Kings. And I'll tell you guys something. For me, I've been to Charlotte. I've lived in Tucson. I've been all over the United States. And one thing I will tell you, California, just love, love, love California. There's no other state in the United States like California. And that's completely and utterly how I feel about California. I think California is, we are at a premium. We got the ocean. We got amazing weather. We got snow as well too. It is a little bit of a premium here too. But I would say if you want the Sacramento lifestyle and you're saying to yourself, I don't want to pay those Bay Area or Los Angeles prices, I think Sacramento's a no-brainer. I think Sacramento has so much going for it. And I think the growth that Sacramento is experiencing, you guys got to come take a look at it. There's so many people that we work with that had lived in Sacramento maybe 10 years ago that come in and they're like, this is not the Sacramento I remember. And if 5 years from now, it's not going to be that Sacramento as well too. It's growing. It's like this organism that's just completely morphing year after year after year. You saw Folsom. Look at the Folsom Ranch area. What's that going to look like in 10 years? That's going to be nuts, right? And then all that stuff, like I mentioned, the rail yards project going on downtown, all that stuff happening in El Dorado Hills too. I don't know. I think we're on a very, very good growth spurt. Candace, good evening to you too. Hopefully you're having a good one. All right, to the next. All right. Would you buy an investment property in the Sacramento area? Where exactly would you buy? Definitely a lot of future growth to buy into here. Okay, so for me, here's what I'll tell you. For Sacramento, for investing, at this moment with interest rates, it's hard. It's hard no matter where you buy right now too. The more units you have, like a quad or something, all of a sudden it's starting to make more sense. But historically, if you're looking for a rental unit, let's say, example, you're buying all cash, you can get the offer way, way low and you can get yourself something. I still like the Rosemont area, College Glen area. I think those areas are good. I still like Natomas because it's a soft market and I think you can get something nice over there. And Natomas is right between the airport and downtown. And in the searches, it's right in Sacramento. I like those areas as well too. I think two markets that are just competitive. They're a little bit, the price is high for what you're getting, but the rental market is super solid. Folsom and Elk Grove, I think those areas as well too. It's just that in Folsom, there's not a whole lot of inventory, and the inventory you'd buy, you're going to pay through the nose. Elk Grove is the same kind of way. But if you look at the rentals, what people are getting in Folsom and Elk Grove, the rental market is so strong there. Right, to the next. All right. Dun, dun, dun. All right, here we go. How Sacramento, California is quietly becoming a whole new city. Please do a video update on Braden. We can't seem to find any updates on what's happening with that project. The funniest thing is I've looked. I cannot find any updates on Braden. Now, what I'm going to do for you guys, though, is I'm going to go out there with a drone with my video crew, and we're actually going to drone exactly the progress of Braden. Give me a week. I'll see if I can bring you some raw footage next week to show you what's happening with Braden. Braden is this community. It's it was supposed to be this own area, kind of like a Bickford. Braden is kind of in between Rancho and Folsom, kind of like where all the new homes are on Douglas. And they're supposed to build this huge community, and no one knows where the progress is. No one knows what's developing or anything out there too. So I'll go out there and see what I can find. All right, who's looking for Gold River? Yes, 15%. No. For me, Gold River for me was a no-brainer. I didn't like what I was looking for, my price point in Folsom. Gold River got me everything I wanted. I didn't have to pay more than I needed to pay for what I wanted. Gold River for me, the location I think is second to none. I think Gold River, you're right on the 50, but you're also on Sunrise. So you can hit Roseville, you can hit Elk Grove. I think here in the Gold River area, you can get yourself a nice house for maybe like $650, $700. A lot of the houses here have pools. I think the community vibe is really, really nice. The only thing I will say is just be careful which HOA you're jumping into. Some of them are brutal. But yeah, Gold River for me has treated me really, really well. Yeah, right. Here we go. All right. I'm curious about the Hidden Oaks housing development, Dry Creek, Roseville off PT Road. Yeah. You know, it's interesting, but there's a lot of developments happening that I'm trying to get a little bit of a map in that whole area, because Bickford, there's a lot of developments happening out there that are, I don't want to say top secret, but they're very much like, there's not a lot of press about them, right? I want to see if I can get my hands on some of that stuff too. The other thing too, and that I heard, because I was talking to Gabby up at Toll Brothers, and this was really interesting. Toll Brothers bought land in West Sacramento, and they're planning on building community in West Sacramento. But she was saying that right now, their plans for building in West Sacramento, they still want to do it, but there's something going on with FEMA and their assessment of all the building there. So right now, they want to build there, but there's a huge assessment happening in the aqueducts and all the stuff going on there right now too. And it could mean that Toll Brothers actually doesn't build in West Sacramento. Stay tuned. I'll find out a little bit more about that. But I thought that was really, really interesting. All right. How about El Dorado Hills? El Dorado Hills is beautiful. I would say El Dorado Hills right now, you have that one community, East Ridge Village, this building up on the tippy top right now. They just started selling. I think you can get yourself a house there for maybe $900 all the way to like $1.5, $1.6. Beautiful houses. I think those homes in East Ridge Village are probably going to have the best views. Now, what level do I think they'd be at? I think they'd probably be a little bit of like Blackstone, kind of like Lennar houses. I think it is a Lennar community, so that's what you're seeing. The location, though, Lennar has got a line on location because the location, it's just amazing. The location for East Ridge Village is amazing. I think the views that people are going to have are nuts. Of course, I think the promontory still probably has the best views because it sees the water. But for me, I mean, East Ridge Village it's just gonna be crazy how they're building out right now too. I think there's gonna be 747 lots out there. And they just are selling, but it's going to be all Lennar. It's pretty much all Lennar community as of this point. I mean, they might sell off little pieces to other builders, but as of right now, that's going to be Lennar. Now, on the other side, on what's called Greenview is Toll Brothers. And that community, the acre lot, that has got to be my favorite Toll Brothers community right now too. Acre lots, starting at $2 million, great location. That's going to be probably, in my opinion, it's going to be like Grant Bay's Magnolia, but probably just to another level. The home sites, the Toll Brothers stuff there is just crazy. And they're not selling, a million of them right now, but I think they are selling enough and they're still getting some momentum on it. So yeah, that Toll Brothers community is going to be good. Oh, and also guys, we did not forget about you. So I know July is your month. So we'll start talking about you. We'll reach out to you guys and talk to you a little bit about your next trip. But yeah, Toll Brothers, that community out there. Talk to Stacy if you're out there. But those houses are gonna be crazy. And again, I think what you saw in Magnolia, Tim Lewis, what you saw, and I'm not gonna comment on build quality or whatnot, but I'm gonna say like what you're seeing right now, a trend happening in the Sacramento area is that you're seeing like Toll Brothers build with acre lots. You're seeing like Magnolia and Grant Bay build with acre lots. You're seeing Double S build with half acre lots. So what you're seeing right now is because Sacramento has land, you're seeing a lot of these builders that are saying, you know what, we're going to build like really, really nice houses, but we're also going to put them on big pieces of land as well too. And I think that that finally makes sense. I think even in Bickford, their third community up at Bickford Ranch is going to be closer to like acre land. So I myself, and don't quote me on that. That's what I've heard. But I think that that's the latest trend. I think that's great. I think the idea that if you are going to go in the $2 million price range, you should have that piece of land. I think you should have the front of the house where you drive in, you have that U-shaped driveway. I think for me, that really, really is good. And I know Toll Brothers, that community, El Dorado Hills, is just going to be phenomenal. The one in Magnolia by Grant Bay, that thing already sold out, and that thing was beautiful as well too. So it'll be interesting to see. It'll be fun to see the landscape of like all of Sacramento as it develops. And then also we haven't even talked about Shawwood. And Shawwood is Folsom. Then it's going to be what? It's going to be Loomis. Then it's going to be Lincoln. Then it's going to be Loomis. Or no, it's going to be Roseville, then it's going to be Loomis, then it's going to be Lincoln. I mean, Shawwood is building too. And if you think Toll Brothers, if you think Tim Lewis had bougie building, Shawwood is also, I mean, they don't play around. I mean, Shawwood's building is, to another level than every single, any of the other builders I've ever seen. I mean, the way they put together the wood, fire resistant and everything too, Shawwood also is so we're going to have some nice, really luxury builders in the area. So for a lot of people moving in, I mean, those would be the ones I'd be looking at. I'd be looking at pretty much what would be looking at Toll Brothers, Tim Lewis, Shawwood, and then maybe sprinkle in, let me think, who else would I throw in there? Anthem. I mean, Double S is nice too. I mean, we're getting such nice luxury builders. I like it. I think it's fun. Roy, Toll Brothers, what's not to like about Toll Brothers? Toll Brothers I think Toll Brothers did set the trend for a lot of times for like that luxury build. I mean, for me, when I see Toll Brothers, especially like the outside of a Toll Brothers home, it's something about Toll Brothers that reminds me of like Restoration Hardware. It's just, there's something about it that's amazing. And if you could put one of those Toll Brothers homes, like, those floor plans, like the Denali or something on an acre where all of a sudden you have that front yard where you can drive up the car, park, everything. Oh, that's nice. All right. Shawwood is fire resistant. Yeah. Their siding is the thing about Shawwood that is crazy is Shawwood is like, it's Japanese architecture, it's Scandinavian furniture grade wood. And, the way they put it in, it's also earthquake resistant, not like in Sacramento, not like we're not the Bay Area or anything like that, but the quality of the wood. I mean, if you look at how they've kind of like how they build their homes, I haven't seen a builder do that. Shawwood is definitely sets the bar really, really, really high. I mean, even if you go see the elevations of their homes, there's something really special about the Shawwood build that even if you get like one of their floor plans, the outside of it, which is called the elevation, just looks very, very unique. It almost looks like these homes were 3D printed almost, but they're beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful. They're works of art. And how they're building them and the way they're constructed and the materials they're using, I have not seen a builder do that. I mean, they really are setting the bar really, really high. All right. Acre lots is good for gardening and outdoor activities. Also, here's the thing. I mean, if you think about the homes, right? Okay. An acre allows you to have like space behind you, space on the sides of you as well too, and space in front of you. So as you've seen sometimes with Toll Brothers, in some of their communities, you'll get a nice big backyard. You'll get, some front yard, but then you'll still be kind of close to your neighbors. The idea with an acre is, especially if you get the right lot, you'll have that privacy that you see in communities like your Los Lagos, your Shelbourne, and some of these older, more established communities in Sacramento. And I think that if you are paying, the $2 million price tag and everything too, and you want something like that, it's nice to have that space in between the homes. And I think even Toll Brothers, even like Magnolia, didn't do it as well as they probably should have. Like, there needs to be that space between homes, and they need to focus a little bit more on that because, yeah, the backyard area is great, but the idea that you have a $2 million home and you're getting coffee in the morning and you see your fence and you see your neighbor's house right there, there's something about it that that disconnects it for me a little bit. All right. Oh, this is a good one. Okay, so Shawwood actually bought Woodside. Okay, so Shawwood bought Woodside. I believe Shawwood also bought Richmond American as well too. So Shawwood is kind of like this is a Japanese company, and they're buying up American builders, and they're kind of streamlining their process. Now, I don't know specifically if Woodside is going to start building like Shawwood. I think Shawwood is a more kind of like high-end kind of model. I think what I've seen is Richmond American is still going to be building the way Richmond American always has. Woodside is always going to be building the way they have as well too. But I think Shawwood is going to be their more like their like elevated kind of product where, you know, you're going to be paying like, you know, I'm guessing their new communities are going to be like 1.5, 1.6. But again, I mean, the product is crazy. You go in there and it's just, and a lot of people are like, no. Go in there. Go see my buddy. I mean, we're doing a thing on Saturday where they're having this whole thing. So I'm going to go over there as well, talk to them a little bit. But the process of Shawwood, how they build their houses, do that. I mean, I might even do a video on it, actually talk to one of them, see if they'll go on camera and explain the process. Because I think really for people buying homes, you see the finished product and you see like the Shawwood, the outside of the Shawwood home, and you say, oh, that's really, really nice. Then you see Toll Brothers and you got that like Italian or coastal contemporary vibe, and you're like, wow, that's pretty nice as well too. But I also think that like you need to kind of pop the hood and see what's underneath there, because I think that is something as far as like, you know, fire resistant, as far as like the type of wood they use, the type of materials, the type of building foundation in your home. I think that a lot of people don't know that there's a difference between that stuff. And I think that, you know, in the future videos I know I'm going to drop one on Toll Brothers in Rockland that we walked a lot and everything too, but I wouldn't mind going up to Shawwood and having one of them just walk me through their entire build process so you guys can actually see exactly what Shawwood's all about. I'd love to do that. So, you know, maybe that'll be in the future. So who knows? All right. Next. All right, so this is a big thing. This is basically what is probably going to lead to interest rates staying the same or actually going up, is the fact that our job report came up last week. Unemployment, you know, jobs, way more than expected. It was way better than anyone expected, which means I guess everyone's employed, everyone's got money, everyone can afford houses. So why not just raise interest rates? So that's kind of what you're going to probably feel in the next couple of weeks. It's probably going to sting. It's probably not going to help the housing market at all, but just understand that this is kind of where it just stemmed from. You're right. To the next. Think rates will drop later this year? No. You know, if all goes with what's happening right now, I still think we're going to be hover around the 6.5. I don't see it dropping this year. I wanted to for all the people who want to refinance, because I think that that'd be great if we dipped under 6, even for a little bit, so you guys can get your refinance on, but we will see. All right, who wins, Sacramento or Placer County? Derek throwing it in. Placer County. The website is user-friendly. It's also where Roseville, my home, is located. I love it. And I think you tip the scales at 51. I think Placer County, I think Sacramento County, I think both areas are pretty amazing. I think some places in Placer County, deeper in Placer County, feel a little bit more Tahoe-y. Sacramento County, you know, you got your Folsoms, you got your Gold Rivers, you know, you got some areas too. I mean, they're both nice. I mean, if it was me and I was coming into this area, I would definitely want to go see both. I'd say like, you know, if you're like an El Dorado Hill fan, which is El Dorado County, you know, or Folsom, I'd say seeing those areas is good. You know, Rockland and Roseville, they're kind of the same thing in different sides of, you know, one's 80 and the 50. There's so many places in Sacramento. I probably should have put El Dorado County and Yolo County as well too, but I think it's close. But I don't know. For me, Sacramento County has one thing that I love dearly: SMUD. Placer County, except Roseville has Roseville Electric, which is pretty much neck and neck with SMUD. But the rest of Placer County, yeah, you guys are PG&E. So I don't know if that factors in or not. Our next one, who's house hunting this weekend? If yes, where are you looking? No, 15% of you got, or 80% said no. 15% said yes. Well, hopefully you guys had a nice weekend. It was actually weird weather this weekend. All right, are rates too high to buy a house? Ugh. This is what happens when you do a poll way too early in the morning. Are rates too high to buy a house? Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's tough. 100%. Our children can't buy their starter home and they're frustrated. Yeah, I think that's one of the things that that's frustrating myself. I mean, I got 3 daughters. You know, the oldest one just graduated college. She got a job, and she's not even thinking about buying a home because it's just so unrealistic at this point. I think that, yeah, it just what's happening with the housing market, and it did. I mean, I don't want to say it happened like with the blink of an eye, but it kind of feel like it did. Sacramento, the crazy part is that before COVID, I would work with kids who were getting out of Sacramento State, and they're all like buying their first home, getting in there, doing even some house hacking. A lot of those calls have just not been coming my way. And I think it's just basically because it's just so hard for people to afford homes these days. Interest rates are high. And, you know, we're lucky a little bit in the Sacramento market just because we have so many new homes and the incentives are there. You know, people, you know, like KHOV is in Rancho. You can get yourself, I think, still like a 4% interest rate, which is nice. But yeah, interest rates, inventory, I think, you know, pricing right now too. There's not a whole lot of positives for your first time home buyers or people who are just saying, you know what, I'm out of college, I got a good job, and you know, I don't want to spend my money on rent. I want to buy a house. It's really kind of sad that we're losing that, especially in the Sacramento area. Because when I first got here, started doing real estate, a big chunk of our market was first time home buyers or people were just buying homes by themselves. And that is just shrunk to basically next to nothing. So yeah, I'm with you. Well, you know what that means though. The kids will be living at home for a long, long time. All right. Let me think. All right, guys, we've gone an hour and the show is done. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. And that's it. I'm done. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Let me see if I can get back to the regular screen before I say adios. It's hot here in Sacramento. So just understand if you guys are coming out to house hunt, it's definitely hot out here. I'm feeling it this weekend. It's going to be really, really hot. If you got solar in your pool, my pool is probably going to be rocking around 84, 85 degrees. So, which is really, really nice. But other than that, if you guys have any questions, just let me know straight up as far as, let me see if I can get back to the main screen. Hold on. Dun, dun, dun. All right. Give me one sec. All right, what do we got? Intro. There we go. Huh, did not do it. Man. All right. Our daughter is tired of renting and wants to own her own home. Yeah, I mean... All right, sorry about that. Hold on, let's see if I can stop that. There we go. Yeah, systems are out, guys. Okay, I'm done for the evening. I don't know what's going on here. Computer system malfunction. But I will see you guys next week. That's it, I'm done. Bye, guys. Enjoy your evening.